everybody. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. One moment. Got a typo to prepare. Hello. Hello, and thank you for the 21-month resub. There we go. Thank you very, very much. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the beginning of the Hazel week. Let me just get my windows all straightened out, more or less. Good morning, ladies. BM's real fun when you get all the best Tinker gems for it. That's the hope. That's the dream. Here, don't mind me. There's nothing on the screen yet. I need to boot the game up. I got Shellfish to 70 on our most recent stream. And then I, off stream, got him the rest of the threads that he needed to get the 12th infinite power cloak achievement, so that my future alts start with the best cloak they can. And then I made with Flabby, we made alts and started them, but I want to start them over again. So this is Squidgy the first. Don't get too attached. Squidgy the second shall be born today. Greetings. How are things? Greetings, Day. Things are good. Things are good. We've got Kitty. We've got more remix hotfixes than we can shake a stick at. It seems like it should be pretty juicy to get off the ground power-wise, especially with the second characters. So what I want to do is I want to just, don't look back. Never regret. No regrets. We're going to make a new time runner. And I want to be a gnome this time. I want to do Alliance. I didn't want to do the Horde storyline again. So we're going to be a gnome. Hunter, hi. You're purring so loud it sounds like you're growling. And then let's kind of figure out. That's my normal gnome face. But, you know, my priest might look different from my hunter. I feel like my hunter might have, like, freckles. You know, maybe she's been out in the sun. What is wrong with Squidgy the first? Fantastic name. Brother says hi. Tell your brother I said hi. I definitely had the name Squidgy reserved for, like, a long time. It's one of those ones that's been sitting on the bottom of my screen for some time now. So there's also there's that one as well. This hair color is like swamp green. It's kind of cool. I'm not committed to it though. It's hard with gnomes when you could have like purple hair, or you could have, you know, like a bright teal. There's nice options. There's blues. There's like real bright blue. Even though gnomes have one paltry measly page of customizations, this might take me a while. Gnome Hunter with double Trailblazer is hilarious, the way she sprints. Let's pick a style first and then a color. This is an option. Also an option. Pretty cute. I'm sometimes partial towards the newer ones. Let's see. She's a hunter. She's a remix hunter. Whoa. This one just looks very Cartoon Network. Got my hair did yesterday. Purple and blue. Very gnomey. Oh, fancy. Slowly melting if I dip early. I hope you feel better soon. Got my second character to 70 now to immediately make another alt. How are you liking gem farming via... How are you enjoying gem farming via... I feel like this is more of a caster. If I ever make a mage, she can have that hairstyle. Which I think leaves Squidgy. Am I doing the little short one, or is she gonna have little buns? What about eye color here? You know, you only have so many options as a gnome. Inksy's got blue eyes. I like the purple. Ooh, that's kind of nice too, actually. Always go parted for my gnomes. It's on Wowhead. You can mail gems to alts. Haven't tried it. Making more remix alts before getting to 70. Yeah, I figured with gems that I would just kind of get new ones, kind of. Let me see. I'm usually all about, for gnomes, just lots of rings. Yeah. I never do bubblegum pink. Whenever I do pink, I always do like the rose sort of salmon pink. I never do this one. It's because it doesn't look like me. That's not right. That's not a Hazel character. What about blonde? Is she blonde? Squidgy the first was blonde. After a lot of deliberation, Squidgy the First was definitely blonde. Oh. Maybe? I don't know. You gotta have, I don't think I have a single gnome that has like the bright, loud purple hair. So if I was gonna do that. Oh, I didn't even think about the bob. That's cute too. What if we just chose chaos and just hit the randomizer about 10 times? Although she's gonna have like a really bright hair color. She needs a fairly vivid eye color to balance it out. Otherwise the eyes get kind of lost in it. Green would be the traditional color to go with purple. Maybe that green. No, that's not right. It's just not right. Squidgy, you have to tell me who you are. Tell me about yourself. Tell me of your travels. I feel like she's got to have either short or tied back hair because she's a hunter. In my imagination, hunters don't see mirrors enough to be messing around with hair that needs to be like, you know, like set into curls. It's got to be kept out of the way. What about? That's so boring. That's no fun. Would I be me if I didn't take this long? That's the prettiest color, but that's the one I always use. She has to look a little different. I mean, she does look a little different than Nixie. She's got a different face and eye color and hairstyle. Can't decide if I should do all achieves in the same tune or do some alt. Hazel chat, maybe biased towards alt. Ended up making them my characters have dull hair, bright eyes. Oh, just build an army of Pixies. The buns are cute. I don't know why I can't just give her purple hair and be done with it. It's very bright. Last time I checked about 30 minutes ago, 33 Celsius in the balcony. Oh no. Oh. What if I did the platinum or the salmon? Yeah, let's maybe this. I mean, there's that, and then there's also like there's like the gray and like the light purple of it. I never do blonde. And then the green is quite nice with that because it actually kind of goes with her little hair ties. Maybe a little on the nose, but all right, there we go. Squidgy the second. I'm gonna log in, get her add-ons all sorted, and then see if her companion is ready to go. Make it an army of alts because I'm bored. Want more mount run attempts. That's always a good reason. All right. Let's see. We got water. Okay. My UI looks mainly okay. What do we do? I've been speed running this lately. Action bars. We turn on a bunch of action bars. We're gonna turn on auto loot. Or the typing fingers and typos all over the place today. Auto loot. Very good. Already on? Oh, you know what? I bet her settings, because I remade this character with the exact same name as a previous character that I had and just deleted, I bet you she's adopted some of those profiles. That's why she's got like a details profile set already. is because my add-ons at least are determining that it's the same character. That's kind of handy, actually. I'm not mad at that. Let's see. Put these on something vaguely approaching the right buttons. They give you a cat pet once you get through these little intro quests. Is that revive pet? That's revive pet. That's mend pet. I don't need 2 mend pets. Wing clip can go somewhere over there to be forgotten about. I was trying to browse through like pets that were specifically available in Pandaria, and I wasn't finding any super clean way to do that. I ended up just kind of randomly taming a crane. Let's skip the tutorial and grab our cloak and throw it on. So I've got the classic starter cloak after you have got as many infinite power achievements as you can in your main. Once you've got 4,200 threads in your main, your starter cloak comes with 1150 threads, apparently. Comes with 1150 threads, gives you 100% experience gain along with some versus, stamina, and main stab. Happened with me too on my shaman, the setting. Reminder, tomorrow is 5 years since you became Twitch subbable. Get your specialty ready. For a moment I thought, but no, there's no way. Even here, the Twitch anniversary was like 2019. That's not 5 years ago. And then I thought about it for another second, and then I went, oh, oh no. For the moment, let's just name the cat Kitty. I don't know if I'm keeping it, but just for the time being, it's a perfectly good pet to start with. Let's port to the start of the quest line, and then we shall see. Let's see. I'm looking around. Actually, I might be phased. Oh yeah. Let me see. Where are you at? Oh, there you go. Oh, I haven't put on a title yet. Flavie wanted to make a warrior. We were doing goblins at first, but we rerolled to gnomes. We are Squidgy and Squonky. And it's pretty good. Smelly Squonky. So then I can be... Should I be Salty Squidgy and Smelly Squonky? Because the only thing better than leveling on a remix character with your new starter cloak is doing it with a friend who has the same thing. Are you ready? Do you prefer Horde or Alliance Jade Forest storyline? I actually might prefer Horde. I've definitely done Alliance more often in my lifetime, but I always, for the Alliance, get stuck on, not stuck per se, but I always get kind of out of steam right around the vehicle storyline where you're recounting what happened to the operatives that came with you. The Horde one was kind of more fun. The Horde one made more sense to me. I don't know if I was just paying more attention or what. Okay, are we ready to start shooting? Here we go. This is dramatically easier to do than it was on the first day of Remix. You don't have to fight for respawns quite so much. Looks like a brother-sister team. The exact same in Alliance main, but the Horde storyline's a lot more fun. Part's such a slogfest for me too right there. Maybe I'll turn dialogue sound up and try to pay attention when we get there. Because I'm assuming what we're going to do is stay in Jade Forest until level like 25. And then probably try to get into a normal Mogashan Vault to get more experience gain set up, as well as like threads and whatnot. And then after that, there's a bunch of options. But I want to do Kun-Lai Summit in particular. I want to work through the rest of the zones and do their zone metas for the sake of those collectibles that you get. And I haven't done Kun-Lai. I've done 3 of them so far. I got Chen's Keg from Krasarang. I got the Cherry Blossom Trail toy from Jade Forest. And I got the Half Hill Farmer's backpack from Valley of the Four Winds. So I need to do Krasarang, Toonlung Steps, Vale of Eternal Blossoms, and Dread Wastes still. I said Krasarang, but I meant Kun-Lai. Kun-Lai I've heard is a big long one, which is great. That's why I kind of want to do that one first. Are you going to do solo shuffle, try to get the Vicious Mount this season? I don't know. I'm feeling like probably not. I don't really want to. If I do try to go for a Vicious Mount, I think it's highly unlikely I do it in solo shuffle. It was such a long grind last season to do it that way. and I don't feel terribly motivated to play retail right now. I think the Horde feels better, is more fun. Couldn't tell you why. Been working on Kun-Lai for days. There's so many quests. Veil was the quickest, took like 5 minutes. Anyone know if we can buy BOA items on a tune that is unable to use it? Yes. In Remix, yes. You could buy like a shield or like a warrior set on a mage and learn it, and it should go to your account. Uh-huh. For a second I thought that was Squonky, but equip a Skyfire parachute. Just want to make sure I don't lose him. Oh, I think maybe I'm behind. Maybe I'm the one that's behind. Also, I have we got some tutorial quests to do here, so hang on. They want me to use the sands and scrap the chest piece, and then they want me to pop in one of these guys, and then they want me to pop it out because they're mean, or you know, teaching me. Combine them, and I think then we are all good. No other gems just yet. Didn't know Twitch had subtitles. First time seeing it. It doesn't happen by default. In order for there to be live subtitles, the streamer needs to run a plugin in their encoder. So I have a plugin for OBS that uses Google Cloud Captioning to create subtitles in real time. Seems like only plate wearers can buy Garrosh's shoulders. Oh, that's good to know. Hi, honey bun. How you doing? How's your week going so far? Okay. All right. Garrosh grunts. So now I should be able to like actually fight something. Yep. That's what I was hoping for. With the incredible amount of main stat and then also Versa that you get from a starting character, especially when you're a low level, you utterly one-shot mobs. It's fantastic. I was a little worried when I first heard about the cloak not being truly account-wide and the threads not being truly shared from your main to your alts. I wasn't convinced that the template cloak was going to give me that same feeling of starting with a huge head start. But once I started like running around with it, it's pretty good. It makes you feel pretty strong. I can get on board with it. Plus, it's only a building point, right? Like you're still getting threads as you level. And now post hotfixes, we should be getting even more of them. It's just that you're starting with like a nice big flat baseline. So I'll make sure I'm spending talent points as we go here and get Cobra shot. I'm gonna kind of YOLO my build a little bit. How are you? How was your weekend? Sprained my left side. Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. My weekend was good. I had a super cozy, comfy home weekend. I didn't go out and do anything. I did a lot of cuddling with my puppy and my kitty cat. I cleaned some, you know, folded some laundry, the good stuff. A couple of walks. Started raining yesterday after quite a while of sunny weather, so it was nice to have a little bit of a change. That sounds amazing, dying for a weekend like that. It was good. You know, you've like really properly relaxed enough as well when your weekend's over and you're like, you know what? I'm kind of excited to go back to like a weekday. I'm ready to do something a little bit more structured. I took a lot of naps that I didn't even really need. I just had the time and was like, well, I guess I could lay down and read my book and I'll probably fall asleep. Not yet. Cannot relate. Make a Ford out of the fresh laundry. How do you get the subtitles to show up? You need to have an add-on, a plugin installed in OBS. So if you Google like closed caption plugin for OBS Studio, there's a few of them floating around out there. I don't remember which one specifically I have, but it's just a little thing that you install. There are some YouTube video tutorials. I haven't done any, but there's some good tutorials out there that walk you through it. That's how I originally learned, is I just saw like a tweet once and then I followed it and now I have subtitles. I wish, oh, darn it. That was one thing that I spent a bunch of time doing is on Squidgy the First. Oh, for heaven's sake, I can't get off my mail. On Squidgy the First, I spent a bunch of time customizing one of her drakes to kind of like go with the character. And now that it's Squidgy the Second, I'm going to have to do it all over again if I want that same one. If you fell asleep, then you probably needed it. Oh, as a viewer, you don't see them. There might be a CC button on the bottom of the player. There may be a closed caption button somewhere on your Twitch interface. Looking forward to this stream. I hope things pick up, turn around. Smooth recovery. Medical issues, no fun. No good. I had a bizarre thing happen this morning on my walk with my dog. We were doing our normal like wander, you know, we go out and we do a few quiet neighborhood streets that we can get to and, you know, do our morning sniffs and stuff. And all of a sudden Moose just decides he's not moving any further, which is not that unusual, but like he has varying levels of stubborn about it. And this time he was like, no, Mom, no, we must stay right here. And I'm like, what's the matter? What are you looking at? And it turns out there's a deer on the other side of the road. And that's not that unusual. We have tons of deer in the city. We see them fairly often. It's not that strange. And he's usually interested in them, but we can typically convince him to proceed past them and move about our day. Like sometimes I'll cross a road if we need to give them some extra space, but it's not usually a big deal. This one was on the other side of the street, and I think part of the reason that Moose was like staring at it was like really intently interested in him. And eventually I managed to convince him to kind of like get up and take a few steps and start walking away, except that the deer on the following side of the street is following us. And it's like super intent on Moose, and it starts like walking into the street towards us, even though it was like on the opposite side of the road. And of course, Moose, his kryptonite is things that are interested in him, because he thinks that if something wants to come see him, they might want to play, they might want to meet Moose, and we cannot move until we find out what they smell like and whether or not they want to meet Moose. And I was not about to let my dog approach a deer or vice versa, because that's as cute as that would be on GeoBeats. It's kind of dangerous. So I'm trying my best to keep him away from the deer, but it's hard because the deer is following us, and then it crosses the road and it starts like cutting us off. Like, and then we try to cross the road to go around it, and it crossed the road back. Like it was really focused on Moose. My partner and I eventually decided to see if it wanted, like maybe somebody around there fed it. So maybe it was like trying to follow one of the people. So I stayed on one side and he took the dog. And no, it was following. It was like really intent on meeting Moose. We eventually had to kind of cross the road one more time at like a jog and try to like half drag, like half run with Moose to like get away and down the corner and around the corner and down the street. And only then did it finally stop following us. We were bandying about theories as to what on earth might be going on, because it was so strange. Like, deer are normal, but deer approaching you with a dog is like really odd here. And then when we Googled it, I came to the conclusion that it probably had babies somewhere around there and was just trying to like be like to keep Moose away from them. But it was strange because we kept trying to avoid it and it was like following us. I guess maybe it wanted us to go back the other way. It didn't want us to go anywhere near that block at all, but it was so aggressive. Moose confirmed Disney princess. I don't think so. I don't think that's what was happening. I can pretend that they would have been besties and maybe it would have been true, but I am not about to find out. Why did the deer cross the road? I believe it was a doe. It didn't have any. I believe it was a doe. Great Dane hurt herself jumping off my bed yesterday. Refused to come downstairs. Me being stubborn carried her down the stairs, threw up my back. Oh no. Moose wandered into the wrong neighborhood. Yeah, I thought it was just so strange to me that it was like, because I watched it follow somebody else as well for a few steps, but the other person, they were walking a dog and the deer followed them for like, I don't know, like a meter, 2 meters, and it followed us like all the way down the street for almost like a whole block quite closely. Like it was almost on top of us. It was very strange. So I'm just hoping that that's not a regular occurrence and that we don't see that particular deer again, because I don't really want it. It was cool, but I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah. Yeah, it felt like we wandered onto the wrong street. And it's hard to get Moose to walk by because as far as he's concerned, that's a weird dog that he really wants to meet. He was given all the same signs that he does when he wants to meet and play with a dog or a cat. He also wants to meet and play with them, and they're generally speaking not game. One really tall dog. The funny thing is he has a friend from the dog park that basically like had a lot of the same characteristics as the deer, was almost the same size. It's huge. Like a very similar tan color, big floppy ears, the same. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Moose just thought it was like just a strange dog. Hazel created a gnome. I never saw this coming. I did like a quadruple or a double Hazel special where I made a gnome, but first I deleted something. I had originally started a little bit of a goblin. I'm not quite finished my my quest here. I need to go back and bomb some more things here. Don't mind me. Be right with you. I guess this is not shared credit. But everybody was okay. Nobody got kicked. It must have fawns just because of like the time of year it is and everything. Okay. There's deer around the woodsy bits in the area where I live. In the wee hours of the morning you can hear their mating call. They sound terrifying. Yeah. You get that here sometimes. Not super often like this part of town, but if you get a little more into like the neighborhoodsy areas with more lawns and stuff. Is it random when things share credit? Yes. Let's see. Are you going out of your way to farm bronze? All the things is telling me I need almost 1 million to get everything. I have been, for my own sanity thus far, just buying things when I can afford them off the cosmetics vendor, and not looking at how much bronze I would ultimately need. My goodness, that's a lot of stuff. Hang on, I need to put some tinkers in. Not ultimately. Oh no, I don't have any tinker gear. Oh no, I must. I just haven't put it on. So let's put equipment here and consumes here so that we can actually get our equipment filtered out. Let me put on some gear. Getting all carried away here. Gloves, so we can get some tinker slots going on. That's a bow upgrade. And bracers. So then I've got explosive barrage, good. Meteor storm and kindle. I like that one. Then I get oh, I got roll. I feel like I just basically for my for my cogwheel slot, I'm basically just biding time until I get I'm just biding time until I get a whatchamacallit, Pursuit of Justice, the passive one that I can't possibly do wrong. Since when can gnomes be hunters? When did they add that? Was it like Cataclysm? Was it after Cataclysm? Was it Legion? And I worked in base in Victoria. Geese and deer were all over the place, having babies everywhere. It was amazing. Says I need just over 1 mil. What is IACM? Is this like new cutting edge, cool hipster collecting technology? There's a small field of grass about a block away. 20 deer hanging out. Got dark outside. Almost didn't see them. It was in Legion. Yeah, I remember when they added it, people were making a big deal. I don't know about a big deal, but there was the argument being made that gnomes should not be able to be hunters because they would be consumed as prey by their pets. Which, I mean, yes, fair, except that, like, people are taming, like, tyrannosaurs, you know? Like, I think those would eat even, like, you know, you tell me a Tauren is anything but a McRib to them. There we go. Oh, I got, like, an extra explosive barrage. That's funny. I don't know how that happened. Let's see here. I probably also need to make a place my home. Hearthstone, yeah. And then can I get rid of all of that pretty safely? It looks like it. I like gnomes, but I think they should delete. Mecha mistakes, my goodness. I don't have a mecha gnome right now, but I don't think they should be deleted. Kun-Lai done? Finally. Nice. Hi, Tinker Mechadork had a line in the prefetch saying his people were hunting for new ways to combat the Legion. Can we explain all of our race class combos just with puns? Because I'm down for that. Okay. Oh. Don't mind me. I'm just taking aerial halt completely off my bar. I want to press that button approximately never. So what level are we? We are 16 from after that first little set of intro quests. I got even more buttons to talent points to spend. Peep the Mog. Oh yeah. Smelly squonky looking good. Alright, I'll Mog too. Let's see. Although I have a feeling that Salty Squidgy is just putting on... Oh, I don't even have a helmet right now. Is there a bow that like kind of goes with the Murloc stuff? Something green or aquatic-y or both? Actually, that's not bad. That's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's got spikes on it like Murlocs do. Okay. Did you want to do, whoa, caps. Also, let's pick up dailies. I'm going to use a Nostwins to go get the dailies. Stoic Gaming, thank you for the 3 streams. Gnome is serving all kinds of fashion. Heirloom armor from Mechanomes makes them look good. Did you forget about Molly Wobbles? I did, actually. I completely forgot. You're right, I do have a Mechanome. Her name is Mawwalker Molly Wobble, the Mechanome Mistweaver monk. She is the queen of alliteration and nothing else. Have you ever intentionally typed in all caps? Yeah, we've all been young once. I used to be loud. I'm still occasionally loud. Let's see. Oh, we got a helmet. Perfect. And then we can put in this for now, I suppose. That'll do just fine. I have 500 bronze, which is not that much. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. But now that we have those dailies, I'm gonna stick us in queue for a heroic dungeon because as baby characters with cloaks, we are scaling wise king. We are very strong for now. It'll get worse as we level, which is kind of backwards, but what do you do? Okay, now that we've got those done, the queue's probably going to take a while. It says 11 minutes because we are... Oh, I probably could have taken the portal back, eh? Queue's going to take a while because we're with DPS. Since I was late, I assume the gnome friend is flabby. Oh, yeah. I use caps a lot. I get excited. That's the only way I can get it across. You keep all your cloak buffs. So you start with a template cloak. You start with a template cloak depending on how many levels of infinite power achievement you've got, with 12 being the cap. It is still a pretty good buff cloak, though. Remix just going so fast. I bought more mounts. If I look on my first order of business in Remix is to just kind of get through the mount list. So if I filter this to Remix, these are the ones, the red ones here are the ones I have already. So this is the list of things that I don't have yet. Some of these are going to require like achievements. Some of them are going to require a lot more bronze. I kind of got the cheap ones first. All right, let me help out on the boat here. Probably going to have to go underneath. Can you roll underwater? Oh, sure can. How do you have so many already? So many what? So many threads? So many... Oh, somebody else has a lot of characters. I see. Where is... It's usually like... There's a guy that comes and spawns. I wonder if it's because we've been getting... I wonder if he's coming. What if we missed a... I'm drowning. What if we missed a clue that would cause that boss to spawn? Or maybe I'm just being too impatient. I don't know if I clicked on the cabin on top. There might be some weirdness about doing this quest with 2 people. The cannon on top. Oh, there's the diver. Bet you I can still loot it, though. I'm coming. QB Ranger, thank you for the 23-month resub. Appreciate it. Nearly 2 years. Lootable? Yes. How do you have so many friends? Ah, yes. Yeah, this is an add-on called Narcissus. People in chat got it covered, but it's great. I would, now that I've tried it, I would refuse to play Remix without it. It's so good. It's so nice for just shuffling gems around. Whoa, whoa. Let me out of here. You get a lot more gear now than before. They hotfixed a variety of things. And I believe one of them was just to make more gear drop in general to help keep you caught up while you're leveling, and also to kind of give you more bronze in general because you've got more gear to scrap. Okay. You still do so much damage. Keeping up with all the gear is a job. Yeah, different people take different approaches to it. Some people will just like kind of wear their gear until it really starts to feel like it sucks and then go in their bags and figure out what their upgrades are. Some people will try to put on every upgrade as soon as they can. Some people will just find one set of gear that has stats that they like, or like their first set of blue gear or whatever, and then just use bronze to keep that upgraded. Because if you had like a blue piece that was 233 on, and then you get a green piece that's like 280, you can spend just like a little handful of bronze, like less than 100, and you can get it caught up basically so that you can continue to have that extra stats, and then you don't have to mess around with managing your gems. Some people will find that to be super worth it, and then some people are going to be like, no, I'm not going to spend my bronze on anything that's not on my account forever, which is also fair. Perfectly fair and reasonable. Let's see here. She simply must wear her Murloc hood. They need to cut the bronze upgrades by 90%. I don't know about that. I feel like they're okay. The catch-up price is decent. And then if you are using bronze to try to like progress, it feels okay. Gear can be on your account forever if you don't sell delete it. Yes, but Pandaria Remix Power has an expiration date. You know. Got the Dark Shaman set and the Shadow Pan Monk set. Other than that, spending on mounts. I need a few more skulls. Trying to get Beast Cleave online before I get into a dungeon. Always good to have. Could at least have the max item level thing account-wide so I can catch up my ults. I would like to see, if they were going to make one change to make Remix even more alt-friendly, I would want them to make... the neck rings and trinkets available on a vendor, which they are, but I would want them to be purchasable on your alts once you have the achievement in your main. That would be the change I would like to make. Because it's not like a small thing to get those things unlocked on your main. And it's, I feel like just giving you those slots on a leveling character would be another great source of kind of catch up for your alts. Okay. think I killed that guy before I was supposed to. Whoopsies. I want them to make Varian shirtless. Seems silly they're not shared. I have them unlocked, haven't worked on an alt yet. No, currently each character needs to unlock those things for themselves, which I think is a little much for the spirit of the event. The achievement was blue on day 1, they changed it. New to your channel, heard a lot about you. All good. That's great. Glad to hear it. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. There we go. It feels so goofy questing like this, but it's pretty fun. The dragon riding and then the cloak just make the replay questing so stinking fast. Like the thing that you're gonna get stuck on more than anything is just trying to keep your gear updates up to date and your talent points spent. I'm grateful to Smelly Shellfish, my first character, for getting me these upgrades and taking me this far, but I think that the majority of my farming is going to be on this one. I didn't really like put too much effort into gearing or upgrading Smelly Shellfish at max level, and I think I'm going to put any effort that I do put forth into this character instead, because I feel like they're going to be starting at a much stronger baseline, having leveled with all of these hot fixes and like the spools of thread and whatnot, as well as with the base cloak. Bunch of solo scenarios. Do you want to do this line? Now let's skip it. Because I don't need to do this for the achievement or anything. What made you choose that name? Oh, I've had Squidgy saved for ages. I came up with it at one point when I was just like reserving fun names. That was just, you know, ages ago. Playing around with the name or not the name generator, but like the thing where you can see whether or not a name is taken, and I was just like trying things for fun because, you know, ever since boy, you never know. And Squidgy was one of the ones that I saved that I felt like would be a cool alt to have one day. I didn't have a character in mind for it yet, but now I do. There we go. So this ought to be a heroic dungeon. That's the idea. Player profiles keep resetting. Oh no. I'm trying to love default nameplates. Oh. This is Heroic Skullamonts. This was the first dungeon that I think I did during the remix testing, and I remember people tried to run it like a regular time walking dungeon and just got mowed over. Low-level BM Hunter in particular seemed really strong, though. Especially if you get like a couple of nice gems. Okay, let's get to Beast Cleaving. Squidgy is the feeling of eating cheese curds. I want to make a panda, but I hate how they look in Mog. What if you hide all their Mog and just run around nude? Did I hear something? I didn't look it up on my own, but did I hear something that indicated that you might be able to hide pants finally, so you could just be nude? Yes, you sure did. Huge. Absolutely huge. Add-on to suggest best gem combinations. I don't know about add-on. I've been using websites for that. I've been just checking Wowhead. Could be an undies pantsless runs incoming. Yeah, of course there's undies. Everybody has special undies. Not, I guess nude is as a poor choice of words. Skivvies. Just let your furry panda belly fly. It deserves some fresh air. Let me loot everything. There we go. 1,201 threads. We're already up at 112% XP gain. Do you think they'd ever make a Volpair Druid? I feel like that would be cool. I hope so. I hope they eventually expand everything to everything. Made a panda priest just for remix, but I don't like Mog on them either. Kazanik, thank you for the 8-month resub. Pandas and their delegates. Using Narcissus for gems and Dinger stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really good. Healing Siege yesterday in a Mistweaver. Super fun. Doing Paragons. Me and 2 other healers. And I realized 6 and 9 Paragons down that all the healers are dead except for me. Oh man, you saved the day. How has the event been going? Are you leveling alts or trying to get max power in main? So I got my first character to 70. And this is my first alt. This is my first alt that I'm committing to leveling. I think my plan is to level this alt and then get as much power as I can on this for as long as it's fun before I get tempted into starting something else. How long that takes is, you know, anybody's guess. But I think it'll be... I've been itching to play BM Hunter this whole event, this whole time. I think it'll be really fun to gear this one up as best as I can. It may not be as easy to get into group content as a DPS compared to a healer, but my initial just like little smidge of experience on a healer was that I didn't really have very much fun healing the raids in Remix. Maybe I needed to give it another try or like level another character or something. I don't know, maybe Mistweaver. But I think I'm just gonna noodle around on a BM Hunter for as long as I'm having fun. So happy that we were able to beat Paragons. Aw, that's really sweet. Playing a Blood DK, no healers kept pace with me. It seems like in a strong group where everybody's got their good gems, we can do double Trailblazer. It seems like there's so many absorb shields and survivability going around that people are going to be fine. And if they're not fine, they're dead. There doesn't seem to be a ton of middle ground where you're actually doing healing things. So I don't know. Is your priest retired then? Will you still do content on him? I think he's retired. I think that even if I wanted to play him, I would be almost tempted to make another one a level. Maybe not another priest, but it just seems... I don't know. I feel like because it was my first character leveled and because I leveled him before all... Like, I did all those achievements and all this content before they added, like, spools. Like, yes, I could still go and grind threads and catch up his power, but it almost feels better to just start from scratch. I don't know. I think Shellfish, Smelly Shellfish, has served his purpose. 1 taps or nothing, no middle ground. Percent XP in your cloak and your alt. You start at 100%. I am up to 112 currently. And we have been playing this character for 38 minutes. Oh, talent points for days. Did we do the boss yet? No, we didn't. Okay, I may have Locust Powered a little early, but I'm sure the boss will still be dead before it's over.
Find shield.
What priest are you gonna make next? I don't know if I'm gonna make a priest next. Maybe I'll take the chance to make a different thing, or maybe I'll be happy just DPSing this whole time. Maybe I'm embracing a new chapter in my life as a DPS. You know, it seems to make Flabby happy. He's having fun. He doesn't seem to feel the need to heal everything. Maybe I could learn a thing or two. Playing Pally Tank and Remix, either stuck at full health or flirting with death. 80% of my health bar has no use, it seems. Oh, it did last longer than our Locust Power buff. Oh, my pet health. There we go. I want to tame a cool pet, but I don't know what I want. And I feel like it'll take me, like in the time that it would take me to like think about what kind of pet I want to tame, I could have, if I had just kept leveling, I could have been up like 15 levels. I don't know. What are panda creatures? There's cranes. Cranes are tenacity. There's tigers, of course. I've got one of those already. We've got like yaks, Mushon. I don't know. I want something that really speaks to me, but I haven't, nothing's been doing it yet. Maybe a crane, if I can stomach being tenacity. Quillin? Water striders. Gnome hunter as cranes. Quillin are okay. Dinos. Seagull. I feel like a frog pet would be very on point. Maybe I'll just turn on track beasts while I'm leveling, and well, it might be just like way too much extra. Might be way too much extra clutter on my screen going around, but maybe I'll just turn on track beasts and hope to find something that will be like, Hazel, let me come with you. Why don't you just tame Elegon? I don't know if I can tame cloud serpents. I don't know if I've unlocked that. Gnomes should be able to tame critters as pets. That would be pretty fun. You can tame snakes. Ooh. Salty squidgy. I feel like salty squidgy needs like a fish or something. I don't know. I'll keep my eyes peeled. In the meantime, Kitty the tiger will do just fine. Because I did the Cloud Serpent rep already. I got it finished on Shellfish just for the achievement. I could do it again, certainly. There's no harm in that, but... I don't know. I feel like I did it already. Rep goes so fast. Happy about that. Solo normal raids? Want me to carry you through it? Oh, that's very kind of you, but I'm okay. Are we, oh yeah, loot over here. We'll probably look for an MSV pug when we get to that level. I don't want to specifically seek out a carry. Snakes have scales. Most of them can swim, so they're almost fish. Would you eat a snake? Traditionally, no. I don't know if it would fall into pescatarianism, but if I was hungry enough in like a survival situation, then yeah, absolutely. Don't tell the snakes that, though. They might take it personally. They just nerfed the goat farm. Yeah, I'm sure they don't want a repeat of frogs. Whoa. This room gets people in every version of this game. Compromise. Ideals. I like Unagi. Let's get another point of Trailblazers. We have double Trailblazer. There we go. Now we're trucking. Are we going the wrong way? I think we're going the wrong way. How has this happened to us? Dreamwell, thank you for the 3-month reset. It stacks? Yeah, you can have, if you have a cogwheel gem that gives you a class ability and you're also that class, you can have just 2 of them. If it's an on use, you'll have the button twice with separate cooldowns. So I could have like 2 disengage buttons if I wanted. But Trailblazer's awesome because it's passive, so I can't mess it up. Yeah, you can get 2 blinks if you're a mage. Absolutely. All right, how are we gonna survive this time? There's a life storm. Love my blink on my hunter. Yeah, I just don't know if I have... How would I know if I have Cloud Serpent pets unlocked? Would I have a passive to read in my spellbook? Hi, kitty cat. How you doing? Script you can run to check. Don't know how good it is. Okay. I won't worry about it then. I don't know if I really want Cloud Serpents. I usually like a fairly mundane kind of pet. I want pets that people like don't see all the time. So not a cat. You know, things that are like a little off the beaten path that you're like, oh, I didn't know that hunters could tame that kind of thing. I feel like you've said you don't like how squiggly the serpents are. When I'm flying on them, that is true. I don't like, if on a flying mount, I don't like feeling like I don't know where my like landing kind of hitbox is. I like to get unique skins for my pets. I look incredible. Do you have the golden astral serpent? No, not yet. It's on the list. We'll get there. I think as a gnome, I might be able to tame mechanicals just by default. But I don't know that they're out here. The only mechanical that I would really want to tame. You know what I really wanted to tame? Was a chicken. But the only chickens I believe you can tame as hunter pets are mechanical chickens from the cave in Loch Madan, I believe. There's a cave of mechanical chickens. And A, I can't do that in Remix. And secondly, it's not the same. I want a chicken. Like a regular chicken. Early Shadowlands, someone was able to use a Nathria trinket to tame a feral druid. There we go. Heroic Scalo done. And I guess I didn't have any quests, so I suppose that's it. What do we get for June trading post? I don't think we know yet. We got another week or so. I am not I am not playing in Classic. That's definitely not me. Oh yeah, that's right. There was Pride Month stuff. Oh, there's a rare up here. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like doing heroic dungeons while leveling on alts that have like the cloak caught up, because they do you're fairly strong, so you can keep up and survive and whatnot with all that extra stamina, and also you're chipping heroic dungeons off of the achievement that you would need to do your heroic dungeon achievements to get the Time Runner seal, one of the rings. You can kind of work on that as you're leveling. Got some threads. Nice. I wonder if I can do the same. Stick us in a heroic scenario queue, maybe. Yeah. Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, gear upgrades. Good idea. Just making sure that everything that I'm wearing is the best version of what I've got. No empty gear slots. And then I'm gonna scrap a bunch of extra stuff. Use spools. Oh! This is my first day playing post spools hotfix. I, for some reason, did not realize that they hit your bags and you have to use them. I did not know that. That is good to know. It feels like so long ago that Smelly Shellfish had like scrapped his helmet. Okay, and then I'm gonna stick Locus of Power back in. We have 3 Tinker Gem slots. I want Enkindle, Meteor Storm, and Victory Fire. So I get some bronze caches, and they had their amounts buffed as well. And then I've got a miner spool. Takes me from 1222 up to 1242, so that was 20 threads. Another 20 threads of Versa, and then I got a blue one, which is 100. Holy smokes. That's already like a third of the power up. I mean, maybe not in main stat, but that's a lot of threads. I'm happy with that. This add-on is called Narcissus. It's having a real moment in the sun. Also, let me sort out my Mog. Oh, we're in guns now. Also, I need to hide the belt. There we go. That one looks vaguely Pandaria-esque. Makes me glad I haven't finished leveling my first remix character. Yeah, it seems like starting now feels real good, especially if you have it's just they've made some pretty big hotfixes. I'm kind of glad that I've procrastinated a little bit, because yeah, starting now feels good. Don't see Quillen all that often, or even shale spiders. Narcissus has been a staple in my account forever. Good to see it getting love. I've always liked the bigger Mog preview window, but sometimes it's always one of those add-ons that in the past, if it started to throw errors, it was pretty high up on my get rid of list. I was pretty happy to just chuck it if it started interfering with the rest of my game. As all add-ons are want to do occasionally. Thought the bronze rates and everything was fine before. It felt very doable for 3 months. Yeah, I kind of felt that way too, but I think it's because I'm not trying to get a lot of the super expensive things. I think that if you were trying to like also catch up on like all of the world boss mounts, for example, and you needed 38.5k each, I guess it depends. If that was the case, and you also weren't gonna gear up a character and like set them up for really endgame stuff, because they were saying that originally like a full clear of Heroic Siege or whatever was gonna give you like 30k odd bronze. So if that was the case, it seemed like almost doable to kind of get caught up on everything. But I, of course, was nowhere close to doing Heroic, or maybe it was Mythic Siege. I don't know. I didn't get that far. And I'm not even convinced that... Hang on, I'm stuck on tools. Don't mind me. Need a few more farm tools. There's one. You know, that doesn't sound as fun to me as just leveling alts and noodling around working on the rest of the achievements. So I'm glad that they've kind of made these other parts of the game also be lucrative, so that you don't feel like you're doing it wildly wrong to kind of play however you want. Glad I was stuck in D4 when Remix launched. What a rocky launch this had. Heroic gave like 15k. Get 9k per hour by doing normal mode, Mogu, and Heart. Okay, do. One more. Oh yeah, I was gonna stick us in maybe like a heroic scenario queue. See how that goes. Oh, I have another quest to pick up. Got an alt through 2 lore masters. Some instances had enough for the Shaw of Anger Mail. I'm glad that they gave LFR some perma XP upgrades. I was a bit worried that they wouldn't, that they would just leave it completely dead. It's definitely not as strong as normal, but it shouldn't be as strong as normal, but it should still be worth doing if you wanted to do some LFR. When is it safe to make an alt for Remix? How far do I have to get the cloak? Aim for 4,200 threads, which is infinite power 12. If you have the infinite power 12 achievement on your main, I would say you're all set to start your alt and make your cloak. Big fan of the rep bonus. Makes getting exalted quick. How do I see how many threads I have? You can use an add-on to check on it, or you can just check to see, if you look in your achievements windows and you look in the achievement, the remix achievements, this is the one that you want to look for. Infinite power XII. If you have a lower number than that, then you would want to keep farming threads in your main until you get that. That's the maximum cloak bonus for an alt to start with. Yeah, I think that I also think that it's launched in quite the chaotic state. I'm still having fun. I would be very... This is kind of the new norm for a lot of games as a service, though. A lot of games now are under pressure to just push patches on a schedule, whether they're ready or not, and then fix things live as you go, no matter how messy it is to do that. I wonder if one day a game company or dev might come along that through, like, you know, philosophy or whatnot, manages to, like, push content out in, like, a polished state the first time. And if that stands out so much that they manage to snap up some market share or just have, like, a big success because people are so nostalgic for when games used to work right away. Lay off a bunch of people, not do a lot of testing. Yeah. There's always that. And as long as they can get away with it, of course they're going to keep doing it. Why would you pay people to do testing for you when you can have your audience do it for free and continue to give you their money? As long as it's working, they're going to keep doing it. Oh, I don't have a pet. Oops. I let my pet die. Thought it was weird that Remix was only 2 days. Yeah, it was a pretty short test window. I wonder... I don't know why that was. You could speculate, but... There's been a strange thing happening where even after you res a pet... never mind. Sometimes the body remains. Yeah, like my cat's up, but also still dead right here. It's kind of a fun scenario. I haven't done all of them, but I want to, on this character, do all of the achievements that you need to get all of your gear slots filled, which means that I want to do every heroic dungeon and every heroic scenario at least once. What about Mythic Siege? What about Mythic Siege? I haven't done any Siege yet. I haven't even... The only 2 raids that I've tried in Remix so far have been MSV and Heart of Fear. I'm weirdly afraid of Throne of Thunder. I don't know what my problem is with it. I just feel like I'm not... Like, I don't belong there. I don't know. I don't fully understand. I guess I need to do the Isle of Thunder stuff to maybe feel like I have some idea of what's going on and where it is. I don't know. I don't know what my problem is, but, like, I don't wanna... I'm afraid. Throne of Thunder's real hard. Those slots are individual character unlock, unfortunately. They're not account-wide, so you need to get your neck rings trinkets individually on every character that you want to be able to have them. Throne of Thunder LFR is pretty wild. Group fell apart on the bridge with Throne of Thunder. During the eye boss is scary, no one does the mechanics. Is that one the one with the beams crossing? Anyone know how many threads in the cloak to do Mythic Siege? I don't have a number for that. You should be able to buy those if you have the achievement. IMO. Yeah, it would be nice if it worked that way. I would like that too. Gonna go nuts. Been farming for Rack for 12 weeks in Heroic. 1 kill in Mythic, no Lego. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel your pain. I really do. Beams are a nightmare in LFR. People are blaming it on scaling. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I need. Help. Hugs. Snacks. Eat some more of my incredibly expensive grapes. Darcy, thank you for the 23-month resub. iBoss. Iron Chan just plain broken. Mm. You know what I need is I need boss guides. I need to watch or read some boss guides. Then I'll know what's going on, how to do it. Mop raids are my least favorite part of mop so far. That also feels like the case for me, and I'm surprised because I was so excited about them. It was one of the things I was looking forward to most, was getting a chance to kind of do them, but maybe I underestimated how much stamina I had for, like, learning them. I don't know. It's early still. I traditionally hate things until I've got the hang of them, so there's every chance that in a little bit the key with this is you use your button on somebody, and then if somebody else also uses their button on the same one, it insta-pops. So Flabby's helping me out there by zapping the ones that I'm channeling on. That should be enough. Oh, I got a rifle. That was pretty fast. Anyone feel 70 feeling stronger after the changes? Kind of shocked there isn't a refresh on Mop Raid Mechanics video out there. Couldn't find one. Yeah, because you don't really want like a full progression level boss guide. You just kind of want like a hit list of do these things to not wipe kind of deal. Still people farming Sark for the drag through Lego. Just there for the bounce skin. All right, got a cache. Got some more spools. So I'm starting at 1384. 1484, 100 threads from the blue ones, and then 20 threads from the green ones. That's so cool. That feels so much better than what it was before. And then also a couple of bronze caches. So I'm sitting on 4K bronze. Any major upgrades that I want to be putting on? Yeah. It's nice, like, Narcissus can pull a gem out of your old piece and stick it into your new piece. That's pretty good. Does the XP bus stack on LFR and alts too? Yeah. If you do, any character that you take through the content is going to get those XP threads for their cloak. And you get, I believe it's 7% per wing extra bonus experience for doing a wing of LFR. We are level 22. Maybe we stick back in queue for another. If I look at specifics, it looks like it could give us a bunch of different ones. So I bet you if we do a random heroic, we can hope to get a fresh one and not do Skullamonts again. But still get like the random bonus. That'd be kind of nice. PRB installing Narcissus. Yeah, if I make no other videos about Remix, I should do a little one that's just like, you need this add-on. Not exaggerating, it's important. Oh, I haven't combined gems in a little minute. Oh, and talent points too. All right. Narcissus is the add-on. It gives you this. It gives you these interfaces for managing your gems. Oh. Oh, and then another spool just for the daily quest. That's kind of nice. Oh, I got Funeral Pyre. Yeah, I think I need that. So I would just open Narcissus with the thing. I would right click to take out Locust, and then I can just select Funeral Pyre from the list. It'll pop right into my helmet. Downloaded it early today. Agreeing, seeing Tina use it. Oh, after seeing it. Yeah. You're not making a top 10 Grumbles video? Never say never. Okay. That's wild. So I'm up to 1572. So I've already got 50% more threads than I started with on my catch-up cloak. And we've been playing for 1 hour and 6 minutes on these characters. That's excellent. I'm at 114% experience gain. Let's do that. Oh, and then maybe the weapon as well. So you can spend your bronze to buy and like roll for random tinker gems and stuff. I think this time around I'm going to kind of not worry too much about that just yet. Maybe later if I'm like really missing specific ones. But I want to keep chipping away at. If I can afford another one. Yeah, I can afford another mount. I have the first page of mounts purchased and the second page less this one. So it's time for one Cobalt Juggernaut. Keep chipping away at all this. The favorite mount still must be the Little Red Riding Goat. There's no two ways about it. But this is pretty good. Can I mog it is the add-on that adds check marks like that. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Nice kid. Loot treasure chests you get, you can hoard some of them, open them at 70. Oh. So, I'm level 23. When we get to 25, we're going to want to see if we can get ourselves into a bit of a Mogashan vault situation. I also, after that, want to start questing, I think. After that's done, I want to start questing in Kun-Lai because that gives you, eventually, Kun-Lai Summit Chen Stormstout's hat for doing 2 of these achievements. So the looking for group should be not as easy as the looking for group from the other ones. You get the looking for group achievement for the Valley of the Four Winds by doing 1 dungeon and then Galleon. That's it. Looks like you need to do 6 things for the Kun-Lai one. But still, that may be the and then the campaign achievement, which is decent amount of questing. Or there's the tour achievement. The tour achievements are pretty long because they need you to find rares and whatnot. 23 went by fast. Wowhead's posted about a new raid mode. In War Within, making a story mode. Oh, that would be, I think, wonderful for people. Let me read. Let me look. Oh, Squonky's back. All right. How are we going to get, let's see, story mode. Gate farm, nerfed. Raid entrances, spools. Dragon riding talents. Must be able to off the front page. LFR is already a story mode. My understanding is that story mode can be done like on your own if you wanted to go without having other people verbally abuse you in chat, which is something that not everybody is willing to open themselves up to. I wanted to pick this up. All right, we need 2 levels. Let's do all right. Am I going upstairs? Curious on what that means. Yeah, something about being able to do it with 1 to 5 players. I don't think it's announced yet. I think we're still in data mining stages. that would allow you to see the, see the raid for the sake of following through on the story. I would imagine and hope that it doesn't really offer competitive gear to make people feel like they need to do it otherwise. I am having a dumb moment. He's right there. Balconies, man. There we go. Oranges. Doesn't give gear, fine by me. There for the lores. And lore in the cinematics. That's what I think it should be. It doesn't make any sense to have people that are invested in and following through on the story and the campaign quests to be, cut off at the climax, basically, of it by not being able to see what happens in the raids. And, you can say things like, well, I can watch it on YouTube, but that's true of anything. I don't think that's a very good excuse. I would love it if it was something, let's skip the introductions for sure. I made that mistake before. I would love it if it was something kind of like follower dungeons, where if you don't need it, you don't need to worry about it in any way. There's nothing that would necessitate, like a raid logger, for example, to have to do follower dungeons. But if it's something that you're interested in, it doesn't hurt anybody to have that option in there. That's kind of the role that I would love to see for something like story mode. Hazel chat, how goes? Hello. It's going pretty good. How are you? Oh, I'm squeaky today. How are you? Good. Slow down. There we go. It's my fault. I'm playing a gnome. I'd like follower raids. One of these guys. Yeah, we buy a few of these. One of these. Perfect. I'm not quite certain how to say that. We're going to go with Okokia, which I don't think is correct, but thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. Hello. I think that there's always going to be this debate over whether or not you should be expected to group and play with other people in order to get XYZ thing out of WoW. And I think where I land on it is that at the end of the day, on one hand, most of the greatest fun that I've had in this game has been playing with other people and making friends and, banding together with a group of allies to take on big challenges. That is by far where the most magic is in the game for me. However, I also like the peace and quiet of working on something on your own, and it doesn't hurt you in any way for it to be possible for more things to be available to be done on your own. It doesn't prevent you from grouping with other people. It does, even if you think that those people are missing out for not being pressured to group with other people, it's kind of none of your business how other people want to play. If it's not especially for something like story mode that doesn't affect you at all, it kind of feels like people just saying, well, they shouldn't add this because I don't want it. And if it's, you know, it's like, it would be like getting mad at, I don't know, accessibility features or something. Even, I mean, I guess people did that. People threw a fit over arachnophobia mode for some reason. But even if it's not for you, doesn't mean that it shouldn't be there. You see, people tend to get mad at accessibility features. Yeah, or do like the, I don't want to call it gatekeeping or straw manning. I don't know what the right word is for it, but you know, you'll get people that'll be like, well, they shouldn't add arachnophobia mode because what about all these other phobias? You shouldn't do any of them until you can do all of them, which is patently ridiculous. Oh. Oh. Oops. I'm so sorry. Big whoops. Maybe right into the raid. Yeah. I also still have the Nostman's return service. There it is. Yeah, I'm kind of lost. I was doing too many things. I had too many thoughts in my head. Or not enough thoughts in my head. All right. Yeah. So I've given leader to Squonky so he can look for a group. He's good at that kind of thing. I have a habit of joining groups that are like laggy. I have a real knack for like not checking servers and exclusively putting myself in Oceanic groups. Yeah, let's just drop all this. Oh, not looking for more. I want to keep that one. Ding, 70. Congratulations, Hannah. Kind of like my golden retriever mixed pup. Not enough thoughts in her head. Okay. I guess I could head there. I could, like, vaguely travel in the direction of Mogashan Vaults. That might be a good idea. Also, maybe I ought to sort out some gear upgrades as well. Do this one last time before we get in. Put on just my highest item level stuff available. 52. Yeah, very good. And then get rid of all this and fix up my gems. Adorable, but not the smartest dog I've ever had. Such a goofball. My pup. I was gonna say I love dogs like that, and it's true. But I love all the doggies. I'm easy. Cold front, maybe? Meteors. So we've got Meteor Storm. Explosive Barrage. Victory Fire. Yeah, I'll take Cold front. And then I've got basically all the prismatic gems. That's a rank 2. That's a rank 2. Yeah, it should be okay. She's trying to bring a cicada inside that she found in the yard this morning. Oh. Want to go into the war with a guild. I bet you there's guilds recruiting that you could check out. Trialing with a bunch of guilds is always quite the social experiment. I haven't like tried to join a guild in a long time, but I've guested with a variety of them for testing and whatnot. And it's always interesting seeing how different guild dynamics play out when you group with them a few times in like their Discord. There's just wildly different vibes. I feel like I've gotten too old and picky. Like, it would be very hard for me to find another guild if I needed to, because there's just a lot of things that I just can't put up with anymore. Need to get my head around upgrade stuff. All right, I have made it to the raid entrance, so that's one thing. Is there anything else I can do to sort out my bags? I'm probably not going to use this yak fur. I have upgraded my gems basically as best as I can. Need a chill guild. Lots of us have experienced what a bad guild looks like. No reason to put up with that at this point. The tricky thing is that a really good guild needs good leadership that can kind of foster that chill environment, which sometimes means that they need to like have conversations with people or like decide whether or not some people get to stay, right? Like, if you have leadership that is a total pushover, and this is why I don't have any personal hand in leading anybody, because I'm a pushover. But if you have like a doormat leader, then the guild's eventually going to just devolve to the lowest common gamer denominator, because all of the most toxic people end up getting the most airtime, and then over time the polite people that don't want to pick a fight will just kind of trickle out, and then you end up with just another guild that's a bit of a mess. So you need like a good leader that can keep an eye on what is and isn't okay and kind of like enforce that, which is a very special kind of person. Those people are made of gold, and I treasure them because I am not them. Still remember loud and obnoxious raid testing at Shadowlands. Hi, Hazel. Wait, the Hazel. Oh man, leadership council worked well for us. Where do you get this mug? It's shop transmog. Unfortunately, it's a store set. Okay. The Murloc onesie outfit. Let's do that. And then, do I have like a fun crossbow that I want to use? Probably not, right? My kitty cat's grunting. I liked that earlier bow that I had, with just like the green one with the spikes on it, because it reminded me of Murloc spikes. Yeah, I like that one. It's just called a shrieking bow. I was in guild leadership for over a decade. Thankless job. Yeah, some people just take to it. And then some people end up in it, and then they don't know how to get out of it. And then some people hide in our little hermit holes like gophers and hope it never has to be us. Eventually I'm going to have to get bags or banks set up on this character so I can stash gems that she doesn't need in it, but I'm going to need to get more gems first. We're having quite the time getting into an MSV clear. Turns out you're able to use Garrosh heirlooms in Remix after buying it. Interesting. How are my talents looking? We got all our talent points spent. I've got Survival of the Fittest. That should probably go on a bar somewhere in case I need it. What else? What is that? That's Command Pet. Pet doesn't do much yet. Ooh, I guess I could look for a pet in the meantime. I could like fly around this area and see if there's just any beasts that call out to me. I'd say ideally ferocity ones, but I don't even know if it matters. Let's see. We have eagles and porcupines. Eagles. Oh yeah, eagles. That's, I don't know if it's very Pandaria, but it's pretty cool. Can I tame that? Let's dismiss kitty. See if I can get close enough to get... Excuse me, can you come see me? Besides, this is my surefire way to... Please! This is my surefire way to get us accepted to a dungeon, is to not have a task done that I had begun. Yeah! It worked! It absolutely worked. They're still waiting for tanks, so I have a minute. That's funny. I just wanna tame an eagle. It looks like a bald eagle. It's pretty. I get it? Yeah, I did. So that's a cunning pet, which means that I am incredibly fast, but you don't get any leech or extra health. I kind of like him just for the movement speed, honestly. I don't even know if I knew that those were a thing up here. Salty, squidgy, and rename. To. Alright, this is I know that's more of a parrot name, but I can't help being... Oh! You're not gonna let me be Squidgy and Squawks? Squidgy, Squonky, and Squawks? Might just have to be bird of prey. I've got to zone in. Yeah, because we're doing summons. I've done this raid at least once. I don't know if I've done it, if I know what's going on yet. I know there's frontals that I have to watch out for on Spirit Kings. I've figured that much out. Oh dear. Time Runner's a hunter, been naming all my pets after Doctor Who companions. Seemed fitting. Oh. So my pet is definitely not taunting. Oh yeah. Scaling's pretty favorable for me. I don't have very many talents, but you don't really need them. I can just beast cleave. Have a good time. So I'm starting this run with 1,583 threads and 116% XP gain. Let's do Funeral Pyre. Oh, my pet's missing. Did it die? It did die. This is terrible. Also, I guess that wasn't the boss. For some reason, I thought it was. This character is level 25. I am freshly 25. We're about an hour and a bit into playing. And this is a normal Mogashan Vaults. Don't mind my weaker. I don't think that I have any frenzy to really stack yet. That kind of comes later. The best I can really do is keep Beast Cleave up. And maybe try to spend my my focus a little bit more. Pretty fast. Yeah, my played is 1 hour and 32 minutes, and I've taken a couple breaks too. Like, we haven't been going completely as fast as humanly possible. I have been leveling with a friend. I've got Flabby out here questing with me. And now we should get some... We also did, what, 1 heroic dungeon, 1 heroic scenario. Got a couple of spools of threads. Oh. Nice. I got a gun and a belt. Looked up tactics for the tanking these bosses. Do not think your group is doing them. Wonder if it'll matter. This raid seems largely pretty forgiving. There are a few mechanics that tend to wipe people, but I think they come in later bosses. I pretty much noodled my way through here until I would say this guy, Garajal. I would say that if you can get into a normal raid, it seems faster than LFR. It also gives you substantially more bonus experience to your cloak. So I used my funeral pyre button. I wonder why it doesn't look like it's on cooldown. Oh, hang on. I'm a bit... Funeral pyre will be removed early if reactivated. It says it's a 1 second cooldown. What, I can just have it up all the time? I'm starting to think I don't understand funeral pyre. So if oh, I see. It's 2 minutes, so you can turn it off whenever you want. But for as long as you're surviving fine, you can just leave it on, I guess? Doesn't go on CD until you turn it off. Oh. Well, that's a dangerous game. I've been using Tireless Spirit on my first character. I haven't really messed with that yet. Interesting. I couldn't tell you if these raids are less mechanics heavy. It's not really a fair arena of comparison because I have a feeling the mechanics are here. It's just that at this particular frame of difficulty, they don't matter as much, so you don't need to be as aware of them, so it feels like they're not there. Up to 2 tusks of Manaroth and 0 mounts from Garrosh as of this morning. Oh no! Even near the end of the full 1 minute use time, it doesn't do that much damage to you, really. Oh. Last 1 minute if you don't switch it off. Okay. Alright, good to know. I'll just leave it on next time then. I was getting a little nervous. It's funny, I just got the same bow, or the same gun exactly over again. Yeah, there's no way I would be able to put upgrades on and get them like socketed and sorted this fast. Otherwise, there's just no chance. I wasn't really looking. I was 4th of, I guess, 6 people for that one. Give it a think if I want to make my own guild. Yeah, the bright side is that you get to make your own rules. And you get to decide your own culture. And the dark side is that you have to run it. Whoa, whoa. So I've been getting a lesser bronze cache from each boss. It's excellent. wonder how we're gonna do on this, boss. Someone asked for a reset, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. This sweater is from the Blizzard Gear store. I purchased it years and years ago, though. They haven't carried this one in a very long time. I must have got this 7 years ago now. I want to say it was one of those things that I picked up in 2017. Sorry. It's in pretty good shape. Oh. My cat's sleeping on my lap, and she's doing that cat's thing where she just shoves her entire face down into your leg. And I've never understood how she breathes when doing this. Do people ever stop you when you're pain when you're wearing WoW apparel and say they play WoW? I have had it happen in the past, but I don't often wear my WoW stuff out and about anymore. I mostly wear them inside or on stream. It's not that I make a point to not, but I've got more, I don't know. I picked up a bunch of secondhand wildlife shirts and sweaters and stuff, and I mainly just wear those. But I've told this story before. Once upon a time, I was on my way to BlizzCon. I was flying there, and I get pulled aside. I'd cleared security. I'd cleared airport security, and I was just about to go into the terminal, and then I get stopped by a security agent who says, "Wait." And I forget exactly what they said. They said something about how I was the enemy or on the wrong side or something to that effect. I forget what it was, but it struck fear into my heart because I'm a huge goody two-shoes. I'm terrified of authority. I do my utmost to comply with all rules and regulations. So to be pulled aside by security and to be I know what you did, I was like, what? And it turns out it's because I had an Alliance shirt, and that TSA agent was a Horde player. They were a WoW fan, and they were a Horde player. And I stopped vibrating 2 hours later. I don't remember if that was 2018 or 19. I only went to 2 BlizzCons. $88 day, thanks for the 2-month resub. Story made my day. Yeah, I don't blame the person for doing it. I think in hindsight, I think it's pretty funny. Mainly that's because we've got a few years of hindsight between that and me. Oh, I'm stacking my bronze back up again. I wonder if I'm gonna feel underpowered because I'm spending all my bronze on cosmetics and not on upgrading my stuff. Because I'm getting threads. I'm just getting them from stuff. Bugged guard telling you something instead of asking you where something was. What are the remix add-ons? Mainly Narcissus is the big one. I have an add-ons spreadsheet with a link to it. I also Can I Mog It? That's giving me check marks on mounts on the vendor to show me which ones I have and don't have yet. And what else? Plater. Platers for nameplates, but those are just my normal plater nameplates. Did you guys talk about the frog scandal already? We haven't. We haven't talked about it yet. I don't know what there is to say. I think the silliest thing is that they somehow didn't see this coming and didn't nerf the frog farm in advance. I mean, they're trying to clean up their mess now, and that's fine, good. They're going to do what they're going to do about it, but yeah, it's a bit goofy that it got to this point at all. Gamer's gonna game. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting watching them come up with new and exciting ways to like try to manage it so that you don't have this forever upper class of players that were like the frog farmers. So, yeah. Ow. I moved. I moved. I think that might be the shockwave that I stood in on the shellfish.
Watch your step.
And then these guys are going to come through.
Watch your step. Shockwave. Target changed.
I think that they have potentially the right idea with buffing things like threads and bronze gain from doing quests and achievements and instances and dailies and whatnot, because basically, like, unless you just completely kill the drop of everything from like an open world mob, which would be kind of a bummer, you're always going to be competing against some open world farm or another. Like, you can nerf them all you want, but there's always going to be something that people will prefer to sit and grind as opposed to doing anything more organized. So I feel like they've got the right idea of, instead of trying to nerf everything, like, yeah, nerf egregious things like frogs, but making it feel more viable to play the game and maybe, I don't know, to do the rest of the game, basically, I think is a good way of going about it. Because the last thing I want to do is just spend all of Remix grinding mobs. And, you know, nothing says you have to. We weren't doing it even before they nerfed frogs, but it's nice to not feel like you're wildly behind because you didn't want to grind. It's just kind of an interesting thing where they're like, here, come play Remix and be overpowered. But then with the way that the game mode is set up, some people are ending up way more overpowered than others, and it's like, well, what's the fairest way for us to do this? Did a goat nerf yesterday? Packs of bugs seem to be pretty good. I heard goats got nerfed. I heard gate got nerfed. I keep getting blue weapons like every boss. So the situation with frogs, and I didn't do it firsthand, so my recollection might be a little fuzzy, but you were able to join big farming groups to kill them very rapidly. I think they would hyper spawn. And the idea was that they were dropping tons of these lesser charms of good fortune that you could turn in for boxes that contained threads, as well as gear that you could then disenchant for bronze that you could use to, you know, like get all your best, get legendary gems and whatnot. So people that were grinding that were getting their cloaks powered up, were getting threads added onto their cloaks at like a crazy out of control rate relative to playing normally. To the point that you've got like screenshots floating around of raids where there's one person that like super frog farmed that's doing like 20 million damage compared to other people doing 100k. And they weren't technically exploiting, so it doesn't seem like they're gonna get rolled back necessarily, although you never know. But now Blizzard's kind of scrambling to not let that happen again with a different farm, and then secondly figure out how to kind of even out that gap between people that frog farmed and people that didn't, or that haven't gotten there yet. Will I still get threads for the cloak if I'm 70? Have the cloak 12 achievement done if I do raids? Yeah, the cloak will continue powering up forever. That's the infinite part of the infinite cloak, is that if you do stuff, you're going to get threads, and you can stack those up infinitely onto your cloak. So the more you play the event on one character, the stronger that character is going to be. There doesn't seem to be, as far as we can tell, there doesn't seem to be a limit to how far powered up you can make a cloak. Unless I'm mistaken. Like I said, I haven't tested a lot of that firsthand. I got one character to 70, and now I'm on my second character. I haven't actually played all that. I've played some. We've done all right. I think the other goal behind a lot of these hotfixes that they've done has been to try to help fresh level 70s get off the ground, because it's pretty apparent when you're leveling that you're strong and you're strong and you're strong, and then you get to kind of like 60, 65, and then you start to feel kind of limp and measly, and then you get to 70, and then everything is much better than you. And as you get your cloak caught up, and as you get your gear item level caught up, and your gems upgraded and whatnot, you're going to get that power back and eventually be crazy overpowered. But like getting off the ground is really intimidating on a fresh 70. And they've done quite a few things to make that initial power acquisition on a fresh 70 faster. So that you don't spend as long being useless. So on a fresh character, assuming that you did 12 achievements of infinite power, if you got infinite power 12, your fresh character is going to have... Oh, I just checked this morning. Definitely 100% experience. They also get main stat, stam, and versatility. I forget the exact amounts, but you end up with somewhere in the range of like 1,000, 1,100 threads. Remember an interview that said the limit's just like integer variable limits. Oh. Even if that was true, though, the frog farm would have never been a massive XP gain for alts with the way the cloak works, because the XP gain on alts for cloak is capped at 100%. That's the best cloak that you're going to get. 4,200 threads is the last achievement, not 1,200. 4,200. Okay, off and away. I still don't understand Elegon. I'm just terrified of falling in. I just kind of stay around the outside, dip in and out, I guess, because there's some kind of a buff, kill ads, and try to get out. I guess it tells you when to get out. I guess it yells at you. This is increasing your damage taken, but you can reset it by dipping.
Phase 2.
I don't know that I ever used these scrolls. We've got like chaos scrolls, wild scrolls. I don't know if anybody ever did them. I kind of figured somebody else would. I don't know why. May as well be me.
Stack high. Stack high. Stack high.
Yesterday I was possessed with a desire to bake a cake, and it unfortunately struck me at like 9 o'clock at night. So I like look up a recipe and I bake the cake, and then I'm like, okay, I just need to let it cool and then make some icing and then frost it, and then I shall have my impulsive cake. And then I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh, it's bedtime. How could this happen to me? So I wrapped it up as tight as I could and put it away, and I'm gonna frost it today, I guess, I suppose. Kind of cake. I made a chocolate cake. I just like Googled a recipe and then printed it so I didn't have to keep my phone on. And then YOLO'd it. And the whole time I was like suspicious because the quantities didn't really look quite right. The batter seemed really thin. It didn't make very much of it. It felt like I was just getting the bottom of the tins like wet as opposed to putting enough in to make a cake. But it did come together. I had to bake it almost twice as long as it said I was going to have to. But, you know, cake happened. It seems nice. Why do normal when you can do LFR? You get much more bonus experience added to your cloak for doing normal. LFR gives you 7% per wing, whereas normal gives you 12% per boss of just like a perma stacking XP buff. My character looks incredible. Yeah, there's also, you know, mogs. I imagine that you're getting maybe better gear, maybe more bronze. Hard to say when you're just leveling, but experience is certainly the main reason I'm here. Plus, I want to be working on the achievement to ultimately get a neck piece on this character. So getting the raid done at least once is good for that. I don't know if I'm gonna keep the birdie. I like the bird, but it doesn't feel very Pandaria. I do feel very fast with a cunning pet though. Look at me. I'm not even sprinting. This is just my passive move speed. It's the 8% pathfinding plus 30% trailblazer plus 30% trailblazer. I'm basically mount speed indoors out of combat. I had another one of those funny dreams last night where, or maybe it was yesterday, where I am like going to high school still, despite the fact that I'm in my 30s, and I'm gonna get enough credits to graduate, or I just need to finish one more class to graduate and then it'll be over, but like I can't do the material, or like I'm too behind, or I've missed too many lectures or something. Or and in these dreams, it's always the case that I'm also like doing YouTube. Like I'm creating and I'm doing fine as a career. And there's always this thing of like talking to guidance counselors or my friends or just myself about like, maybe I should just drop out of school and not finish it and not graduate, even though I'm really close, because I'm 32 years old and because I have a job. And it's so strange to me because I did graduate high school. I did finish. So that it's not necessarily true. I think I must have some kind of like subconscious desire to take YouTube in particular more seriously and put more time into it. But it's funny because it's not like I'm spending all day in class and not making videos. I spend my mornings streaming and not making videos, but that's not exactly the same thing. I did drop out of university. That is true. In hindsight, that is one of the best choices that I've ever made, though. I saved myself an astonishing amount of money, and I managed to not get a music degree, which was arguably not worth that astonishing amount of money. There was like a 0.001% chance that I was going to be the next, I don't know, Chris Bodie. And there was a 99.999% chance that I was going to be the next overqualified barista with $100,000 of student debt. So I think that of all of the things I quit in my life, that one actually turned out pretty good. Not too terribly upset. I can't decide sometimes if I'm still glad that I went, because you go, well, you learned a valuable lesson. And I'm like, did I? What? I don't know. I learned, I don't know what I learned. Something, I'm sure. Still think the degree was a great education for anything. Oh, I got an appearance. Transmog appearance for that crossbow. Thanks, everybody. That was normal MSV. So my cloak is now offering me 189% XP gain. If you hadn't gone, you might have lived with regret of what might have been. That's probably true. I think you're right on the money with that. I think if I hadn't gone, I would have been forever like, man, what if I had gone? I think at least trying was good enough for me to get a look at it and to get a look at what it had to offer me at the time. The tuition at SFU. SFU. Remember it being about $1,500 per term. Where's SFU? I guess I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, it was spendy. A lot of the cost though was not just the tuition. It was like living expenses, right? Like you had to stay somewhere, you had to eat. Yeah, no, I didn't do Simon Fraser. Got a male TTS voice, announcing weak cores in retail instead of the usual DBM voice. Oh. Alright. Bronze cash. Epic spools. So I'm at 1,880. 100 threads per 1,980. That was 100 haste. 100 crit. Haha. Alright, and then let me get my new best gear on. With new and improved and exciting sockets. I don't fuss too much about stats. I usually go for rarity and item level when I'm leveling, and then I figure I'll worry about secondaries later. Get rid of all this. That was a huge help. Big boost. Can you show the upgrade cost for each piece of gear? I am trying to make a spreadsheet. The trouble with that is that it's going to change based on whether or not you have an upgrade in that slot already. Big chunks of thread, pretty exciting. I would log in and check it yourself. That'll be an easier way to do it. UVic is on an island, UBC is on the peninsula, SFT on a mountain. You have to eat anywhere you're living. Yes, that is true. I've forgotten why we're fighting. Any idea how to get purple gear? I've heard it's rare. I've not gotten any. I've not received any. I think it's pretty uncommon. Okay, and then we want to put my Trailblazer back in. Make sure we're using some decent Tinker gems here. And then prismatic gem-wise, looking okay. Also, I simply must fix my transmog. This is quite the look. There we go. That's the look. I really should add a second command that is add-on without the S for people to be able to use. That happens pretty often. Okay. All right. Let's see. It is 11:18 a.m. I am delighted to have 2,082 threads in my cloak. We've got 189% XP up. I think I want to start Kun-Lai Summit to start working on... Actually, I think I want to pop by the bazaar to... I guess I can actually pop by the one in Valley of the Far Winds. Pop by the bazaar to turn in the or maybe even in Vale. Turn in our quest here. I think the stuff from caches can randomly upgrade. That's a good question, Mindgames. I don't know. Went back to school about 12 years later, got a 2-year associate's degree. Haven't used it, but proud of myself. Okay. Bird tired. use a regular flying mount actually, can't I? I can just get on something. Yeah, that's right. I had myself all confused. Get a quest reward that would randomly proc an upgrade. Okay. People ever recognize you in random groups? What kind of things do they say? Sometimes in PTR testing, if I have like a Hazel name, almost never, pretty much never, if I'm not using a Hazel name. And the main thing that somebody might say is that the real Hazel? And I'm usually too shy to just respond to that, so I usually say nothing, and then I think they go about their lives assuming that it is not. Because, you know, who am I to say that I'm the real Hazel? Maybe they're looking for someone else named Hazel. Who's to say? Oh, I got a green spool just for doing that daily. And then I wanted to find the inn, which is going to be pretty nearby somewhere. I thought I saw... Oh, it's over on this side. Because we're Alliance, which means this is backwards. So I'm going to set my home here. I'm going to pop on up to the bank and maybe dunk in if there's any gems that I know that I'm not going to use. And there should be a little vendor around here somewhere. There? Yeah, there we go. Lidwin, storage enthusiast. Can buy a couple of these 36 slot bags for the bank just so we've got lots of room to stash gems. And then I think I'm going to put away my extra cogwheels and meta gems for sure, because I'm pretty happy with the ones that I'm using right now. And then if I look at my tinker gems, is there anything here that I'm like definitely not going to use? Yeah, those ones. Nice, okay. Stick the bees in there. Got all 7 bags for the bank because they were so cheap. My husband has the name of a celebrity and he was on the internet before that celebrity. Sometimes gets contacted by the media and stuff. Feels like it's not the real one too. Aw. That's pretty embarrassing for said media member to be like, yes, I have truly found said celebrity. I must tweet them for an interview at once. Send an email, whatever it may be. I am not starting that. That's not quite what I'm after. I want to do Krasarang Wilds. Or, pardon me, Kun-Lai Summit. Kun-Lai Summit. I guess I can just fly there, eh? I can just start at the village. You don't need to start before then. I know there is a breadcrumb that sends you in, but see if I can just get there. Yeah, that'll do. So I think this achievement is going to be kind of a project, but that's good. I want a project. Looking for group. Oh, that's nice. I don't need to do Raid Finder for Mogashan Vaults because I did normal counts for Raid Finder for the sake of this achievement. That's good to know. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to want to do the campaign and then the looking for group achievement. Because these are mainly scenarios, I think. Here, I'll stick us in another like heroic scenario. Dungeon Finder, scenarios, heroic scenario. Q, maybe. Just do heroic of everything. Yeah, I could do. You can earn heritage armor on remix characters, but you will need to wait for the event to end before you can actually do the quest line. So if you level the alt of the race that you're trying to get heritage armor for, after the event ends, when it becomes a regular Dragonflight character, then you can go do the heritage quest line. All right, so we should be pretty powerful out here now, having all those extra threads from raid, as well as like a bunch of extra XP from raid as well. So I'm level 28 presently. That is including that normal raid run, and after we've been playing for 2 hours and 8 minutes in this particular character. And we need to loot a bunch of arrows. That's going to take some time. Stuck a soda in the freezer and forgot about it. Oh no. Did it explode? Has it burst? Make a trial tune in the same race, you can pick up the quest. Oh, that's a good tip. Trial character in some races and do the quest line after you level to 15 remix. Might fix it, but it works right now. Interesting. Well, that's a good way if you're kind of feeling kind of impatient. Finally get heritage armor of all the races I don't want to play. Yeah. I was thinking about that because I am still missing a few, but the thing I keep running up against is if I don't want to play them, then what do I need the heritage armor for? Because you can only wear it on those races. So like an example is I don't have any Worgen heritage armor, but like what's the point if I'm not going to play Worgen? I don't know. Just to have, I suppose, numbers. 10 achievement points. Number go up on data for Azeroth. So I'm after arrows. Yeah, this feels pretty good. I was not this strong. Even at lower levels before the scaling started kicking my butt, I was not this strong on Shellfish. Not by a long shot. Shellfish didn't have this many threads until he was like 70. Dark Irons are one of the allied races I actually like very much. I wonder if I'm ever going to regret not having a panda. The day hasn't come yet. Maybe what I need is a male panda? I don't know. Alright, here we go. That took me a while. I got the Chiji metagem, and I was using it a little bit, and I still don't really understand what's going on. I used it in a dungeon, and I was just running around as a bird, shedding feathers on people, trying desperately to read my buff and figure out what was happening. You have Wormbin though still, right? True. That is true. I haven't leveled him, but I do have him. Maybe I would delete him, remake him, but maybe not as a Death Knight. I feel like Scary really fills my Death Knight needs, and Death Knights aren't really a class that I want to have a bunch of. If I had to bet on you ever missing a male panda, I would put exactly $0 on it. Is that because you're not a gambling kind of person? Hazel, hello Legendarism, how you doing? My XP gain is currently at 189%. I started with 100 because of my mains cloak, and then we did a whole MSV clear, which pretty good. Helps out a lot. It wouldn't be a bad idea to do Heart of Fear as well, but you know, I have so much patience for raids. Wormbin the mage. I think if I made a mage, I might just make another gnome. Just have legions of gnomes. I have to make up for all of the gnomes that other people aren't making. I don't make the rules. Surprised they didn't have Pandaria Heritage Gem already? Yeah, they only have so many gaps left in the Heritage Armor collection. I feel like they're going to get them all finished eventually. Guild dissenters escaped. Escaped how? Has anyone done Siege? How bad is Siege normal? I don't know yet. The only raids I've done are MSV and then Heart of Fear once. Don't think I've ever actually seen a Mechanome in the wild. Yeah, the XP gain for alt will always start at 100% after you have the Infinite Power 12 achievement. Only Pandaria and maybe Drakthir left to make Heritage Armor for now. This is a transmog. This is they've added a Murloc onesie transmog to the cash shop. I need one more supplies. And then a stolen ritual staff. Well, who's gonna have that? Maybe I ought to read them. Arachi. Sounds like a specific guy. Comes with a happy and an angry hood for it. I really hope that they make a recolor, or even a few recolors, for the trading post. It's too cute of a model to have be exclusive. And you know, they did kind of a similar thing for the Love Witch set. They had like one on the trading post and one on the shop. Yeah, they did them at the same time, but oh, there he is. Reunite. Oh, I see. He just wants me to meet him back there. I feel like all the stuff in the in-game shop will end up in the trading post eventually. But they can get money from people who want it now. I extra couldn't resist this set because I have the same color of Murloc onesie in real life. I have the big fleece green one with the red fins on it. Spikes, spines, what have you. You get a lot of bandages. I have yet to use one, I don't think. Not on this character. Do you have the Brute Lock? I do. Outro Ages Go have you in that? Yeah. There was a moment in WoW history where they didn't let us fly in Warlords of Draenor. And at first, they weren't gonna. Like, they had no intention when they first released it, it seemed, of letting you fly in that content. Like, it seemed like they wanted to go back to being grounded. And, of course, we were not wildly happy with that. And eventually, when they caved, and they said they were going to announce Pathfinder, and you'd be able to do an achievement to unlock the ability to fly, I was so happy at that change that I did a little happy dance in my Murloc outfit, and that was what became the news video outro for a while. Years and years ago. This is the kind of WoW apparel you no longer wear outside. I mean, believe me, I have walked the dog in that Murloc onesie before. I have not enough shame to avoid that. Ooh, I got Slay. Uh-huh. Also, I need to put my Trailblazer back on. Terrible time. Pools of corruption cleansed. So are we just waiting for, yeah, the NPC can get it done. Wearing nothing else besides the Murloc onesie, but I did pair it with the soup chicken. Soup chicken? I hope that means because you're feeding your chicken soup. You are making special soup for your chicken to enjoy. Right? Guys? I suppose wearing the Murloc onesie outside is one way to avoid having people talk to you. Played Pokemon Go with the neighbor's kids wearing a bright yellow Pikachu onesie. I wasn't wearing a outfit of any kind, but I remember when Pokemon Go was happening and there were other I was real into it, and there were other people in my neighborhood that were also real into it, and I would see them out and around, and I would kind of like connect their names and their faces, or not their names, but their faces to their usernames and whatnot. And I almost worked up the conversation to introduce myself, but I didn't. And that was, I don't know, however many years ago now. Probably close to 7. And I still think about it. That one time that I thought about maybe trying to make a friend. Didn't do it. Don't be silly, Hazel. Chickens don't drink soup. Can't hold a spoon. Have a hat made out of the same material as the blue IKEA bag. It has the IKEA ribbon in it, and when kids see me in it, they can't stop looking. Had my doctor prescribe Pokemon Go to me. Thank you, Pokemon Go. Thanks to you, I nearly made a friend would be a great review post. Lifetimes ago. Yeah, this is we're chugging along. Definitely need to put that on. I'm just stacking crit. I don't know for what. Actually talked into getting back into Pokemon Go recently. I quit for my own health and safety. I need to not get drawn back into it. I really liked it, but I got too into it. I was not paying enough attention to my surroundings when I was outside. I was being convinced to go out for little walks that I didn't need to be taking when I was supposed to be like working or focusing on something, because there was like some Pokemon outside that I wanted to like go try to get or whatnot. I spent a lot of time outside, which was great, but wasn't the safest thing I ever did. I think it's great that it's still going along, though. Not everything that's a big flash in the pan like that manages to stick around. Some things do. WoW has, but not everything. Mage Belden, thank you for the 43-month resub. Appreciate it. I'm still trying to figure out what this hat looks like. Same material as a blue IKEA bag. It's like woven plastic. I'm trying to think of what IKEA bags are made from. We don't have an IKEA here. I haven't seen one in a long time. Thinking about people seeing celebrities in game. Have a druid alt named Narissa, and someone thought I was the person who writes the Wowhead druid articles. Small world. Woven plastic. Oh. Waterproof anyway. Yeah, sounds like a good beach hat. I keep having to fix up my transmog. Just doesn't look right without the pants. At least it's free. Alright, are we rounding up yaks? Yeah. Yeah, yak we are. Can I steal his yak? I have a feeling not. Can't wait for the purple Murloc. This is such a beautiful zone. I thought they did a wonderful job of making the Pandaria zones like distinct from each other and all like gorgeous in their own way. Yeah, there's so many quests in this zone. This is gonna keep me busy for a long time. Last yak, heck yak. What about a pet yak? Awesome. I can brush my dog, and that's about as much grooming as I'm willing to get into. I was pondering this morning while I was like stuck in the street in this standoff with the deer, what it would be like to brush a deer. Not that I intended to try. Yeah, I'll come with you. But, I don't know. It's kind of like a horse, except delicate. Not saying horses aren't delicate, I don't know much about them. You had a deer standoff. Yeah, there was a deer that was approaching me and my dog this morning on our walk and like following us and trying to cut us off, basically. It was definitely difficult to get down the street because my dog is a puppy. He's just turned 1 and he was deeply excited by all of this, and he's pretty big and excited. It's like brushing a horse that hasn't shed its winter fur yet. I see. Bet Moose loved it. He was losing his little puppy mind. It's probably a good job that he didn't become 100 pounds because I can hold him back, but if he was too much bigger, it would be less of a sure thing. He has a lot of force when he wants to. Dameron, thank you very much for the 2-month resub. Appreciate it. And Viking Turtle with a brand new Prime sub. Thank you. Shucks, guys. Bags are getting out of control again. It happens so fast when you're questing this quick. I feel like getting this many levels took me like 2 days the first time around. Oh, I hadn't replaced my chest piece in a long time. I still had my item level 13 one on. Goodness. Good grief. Even though I do have some blues, I don't think I'm going to worry about trying to keep them caught up the whole time. I'm just going to take a look at my gear real quick. Just do for item level. I almost need like pawn or something to just like put big old highlights on the relevant pieces here. Those are 72. And those are 63. Pawn's been great. Discovered better bags with the Time Runner update. Very little needed to remain organized. Oh, nice. I'm using Narcissus to see the stats or the threads in my cloak. And then also just mousing over your cloak buff will tell you even without an add-on. Girlfriend's German Shepherd weighs 60 kilograms and no one can hold him back. Educated good boy, but if he really wants to do something, no one can stop it. I bet. Holy smokes, that's a lot of dog. Do you know what unique Tic Tac flavors Canada has? I can't say that I do. I was all about the orange Tic Tacs as a young one, and I haven't really messed with them since. You need to make a fresh time running character for this mode. You cannot use one of your existing characters. All right. And back to filling up the bags. But there's a ton of cosmetics that are specific to this event that you can only get from doing this. I'm like pretty lost when it comes to which talents to do. I've decided that pinto beans are the best bean. I made a huge batch of them, and they were so good. And I cook black beans the same way sometimes too, but they're just not as delicious. I don't know if they're cheaper, maybe they're cheaper, but they're just not. They're nice, but they're not as nice. I'm accepting it. I'm gonna buy the pinto beans on purpose and not in equal amounts. You can get gems at the Infinite Bazaar. They're unmarked, so you buy like an unmarked one, and then it turns into a random gem, either Tinker, Meta, or Prismatic, depending on which one you buy. How many versions of WoW are there now? You could make an argument for 4 right now, like WoW Classic, Kata Classic, Dragonflight, and then Panda Remix. Remix is arguably not so much a version of WoW as it is just like a special event. It's only limited time. It's going to be around for 3 months and then it's gone. And it's taking place on like regular Dragonflight servers, but you are separate from Dragonflight characters. Plunderstorm, I didn't count Plunderstorm because it's over. It's not currently available. Oh yeah. Yeah, Season of Discovery and Season of Hardcore and Hardcore Self-Found. I don't know. When I was in Hardcore Self-Found, I kind of felt like there was nobody else there. I don't know if that one counts. I think of Remix as super chromy time. I am getting there. I'm a little disorganized. I'm sure I'm a bit of a mess to quest with when I'm streaming. So remix buffs are done through gems and through your special cloak. That Wowhead page kind of lays out the details of how it works, but the short version is that the more you play, the stronger you'll get because you can collect and use these special gems that give you special effects, as well as getting ever more secondaries to this cloak that you're wearing. I need more meaty bits. I'm going to go kill some porcupines or something. Regular old plain vanilla without hardcore. Yeah. Well, so hardcore... yeah. What am I trying to say? Oh, no. Oh, okay, I was confused. For a second I was like, but they did them on the same servers. But no, they did self-found on the same server as regular hardcore. But there are separate hardcore servers that are different from normal ones. So playing on the remix, you won't get the combat buffs in your character in Dragonflight, but you can collect cosmetics like mounts and transmog and toys and a couple of pets, and those things will carry over to your retail account. How does the full cloak feel? Seen a bunch of discourse in the relative power levels in remix. So it's there's a lot out there. All I can speak to is what it feels like being an alt, leveling after some hot fixes and with the best starter cloak template that was available. which is to say I feel pretty good. I feel pretty strong right now, but I don't have much endgame experience. I got my first character to endgame, got it enough threads for infinite power 12 so that I could start this alt, and then that's been about it. I haven't tried to gear up much at endgame, and I didn't do any frog farming. Yeah, world boss mounts are available in Remix. I believe they drop normally, but you can also buy them off a vendor for bronze, which is a currency that you get for buying all these cosmetics. Did you know in the UK there's a cat with an official position who lives at number 10 Downing Street? His name is Larry, and he has been in residence for about 12 years through multiple prime ministers and governments. This is a... Does he, like, is he someone's cat? Or did he just move in and decide for himself that he was going to be that? He was going to live there. comes with the house. I am level 35. Pets aren't available. Any mounts from Mop you can't purchase here. There's a couple of pets that you can get that are Remix exclusive. But yeah, the most of the battle pets and whatnot are not available. I think when they transfer these characters to retail, they give them template gear, which I believe is going to be lower than the max item level that you got. People were bandying about like a 425 number, which sounds kind of low. Maybe that's not what it is. I just want to know if there was, like, once upon a time, a prime minister or, like, staff member that had the cat, that brought the cat in, and then when they had to leave the residence, the cat was just like, no. I'm famous. I'm important. I have a job. Well, 36. Do you know who I am? Got my golden astral cloud serpent last night. Nice. I need to do a little more research on exactly how to do that. It's like achievement based, right? You got to get some achievements first. Was adopted by David Cameron. He is famous. He was always meant to be a member of the staff. You can write to him and get an answer back in official government stationery with a paw print. Oh. I like the cute cat story. It feels like it's not exactly political because it's not about like a specific individual political leader, but it feels vaguely politics adjacent. So it says, didn't finish the achieved, drop from a rare, so I'm not sure what happened. Huh. I have not done the veil achievement yet. I wanted to work on this. I was working on this one next. The Kun-Lai Summit, which I think is going to keep me busy for a while. I've got 7,700 bronze. Requires a dungeon achievement, but I haven't done dungeons yet. Maybe you had enough of the rest of the achievement to do it, because it's true what T. Miller is saying. You don't need to do everything. It's a do. So if we're looking for Veil, Remix, Veil, 2 of the 4 achievements. So if you like did Golden Lotus rep and then rares, that would finish it. Or if you did like August Celestials and then rares, or August Celestials and Golden Lotus, you don't need all 4. You just need 2. Am I doing okay? I think I'm doing okay. I do need to consider wrapping up soon. I don't know how time went by so quickly, but it's nearly noon. I can tell because I'm getting hungry. Hungry. Tie event update. Just Furbolg rep and about 6k more Sword Army rep. Oh, nice. Those are good things to have last, because those are pretty under your control. You're having fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of Game of Thrones references here for sure. Is there a default key for Group Finder? I want to say I, but I don't know if I've changed that keybinder or if that's the original one. Hazel, do you admit to watching Bridgerton? Oh, yeah. I crushed the first half of season 3, and now I am so impatient waiting for season 4 that in an effort to watch some form of historical romance show, fantasy, I don't know, I guess Bridgerton's not fantasy, but I started watching Outlander to try to like fill the void a little bit. Watched it twice already. Yeah. I'm pretty easy when it comes to lacy, frilly trash. I like TV like that. Outlander is amazing. When does it become amazing? Because I'm 3 episodes in and I am falling asleep. I'm I'm having a hard time with it. Episode 1. I don't know, man. Give it 2 more. I got to make it to 5 because I've seen 3 solidly. And it's just all so, I don't know. It's not doing it for me yet. Maybe it will. I know a lot of you like it, which is one of the reasons why I started it. Gets better when you decide it's overrated and give up. World building slower pays off. The episodes are just, they're so long. I did finally watch Greta Gerwig's Little Women. I'd never seen that, and I put that on over the weekend, and I really enjoyed it. It's made me want to try out Lady Bird. Just half of the same cast remixed in an earlier movie. Without all of the build-up, you wind up dismissing characters. So many of them actually play into the story as it progresses. Couldn't get into Outlander either. First time around was rough. Yeah. I think I'm just I don't know, easily bored. It's hard for me to put my finger on what gets me invested in like a TV show, which makes it hard to pick things that I know I'm going to like. Cuz a lot of the things that used to work for me don't do it anymore, and I don't know. This way. It's just about noon. I think what I ought to do is I should hearth back to Vale. Maybe spend some of the bronze that we got. Maybe sort out... Actually, let's sort out the gear here where it's like nice and open and not claustrophobic. Any upgrades? Those are an upgrade. That is an upgrade. That is a huge upgrade. Extra 82 agility to my weapon. Thank you very much. Yep. Absolutely. Sure thing. So we just put all of our item level upgrades on. Chuck all of the remaining pieces into the scrapper. I feel like if I'm not hooked into something by a few episodes, I move on. Generally serve me well. Yeah, my partner and I were discussing about how some shows people are like, listen, it's good, it's really good, you just got to get through the first like X episodes or X seasons or whatever, and how we don't have as much patience for that as we used to, because it's like, what do you mean I have to put like 15 hours of my life into this for it to get, I don't know, if it's not interesting right away, it just seems a bit like, what's the point? Need the scrap add-on, makes it so much easier. Is the scrap add-on called something other than just scrap? Because I feel like I have scrap. And then I want to go and I want to do funeral pyre and trailblazer, barrage, and kindle, windweaver. We like that. Just generally some secondaries. Are you going to watch the new Game of Thrones Lord of the Rings series? I don't think so. Not unless my new way of vetting shows like that is to wait and see if anyone in my circle, which is admittedly tiny, has been talking about it. Because if it just goes under the radar, I usually assume that it was fine and not like extraordinary. So your alt will have a buffed cloak when you start them, but it's not the same cloak that your main had. There's threshold templates where as you get these infinite power achievements, you will get a stronger cloak for your alt to start on, and it caps at 12. So once you've got 4,200 threads on one character, all of the future characters you start after that have a 100% XP cloak plus some other stats on it. Are you still getting the joy of leveling from Remix? Yeah, it's so fun going this fast. I'm level 39, and we've been playing for 2 hours and 45 minutes on this particular character, because it did take me quite a while to get my character customization sorted. I like that I spent so long trying to figure out her hair, and then she's been wearing a Murloc hood ever since. Oh, the stats cap at 2,200? Oh, so they cap at like 11 then, because that does make sense, because this says toy. Oh. Yeah, good call. Red Shamrock, thank you for the 23-month resub. Hello, Hazel and chat. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I've had a delightful stream. I'm so glad to be back for the week. Remix cloak at 31% XP. Your first character is by far the slowest. If you can get that first character up and through it, and I know that sounds eerily similar to what I was just saying about TV shows, but your first character is going to be the slowest. The best thing you can do for it is if you can squeeze yourself into raid clears. Those are going to give you big chunks of extra experience. You get 12% bonus experience to your cloak per boss that you kill in normal raid. And that will make the rest of your leveling go a lot faster. Each new character I'm making having more fun each time. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with all this. So let's scrap that. I'm going to go back and make I'm gonna buy some stuff. I'm gonna go back to town and I'm gonna buy something. Also, she needs a Hearthstone toy. What do I want here? Sure, that's cute. Yeah, LFR raids give I think 7% per wing. Alt character bonus XP, 127%. Nice. Yeah, after playing a little under 3 hours this morning, this alt is at 195. You can do the raid starting at level 25. All right, I have 8,200 bronze. So that means we've earned somewhere in the neighborhood of 12k today, because I know I spent 4,400 on a mount earlier in the stream. I bought the Juggernaut, the Cobalt Juggernaut, and now with 8,200, it looks like I can get at least one more. I'm focusing on mounts first, and then I'll look into transmog. So this would be technically the next on my list. Pretty cool if I'm just going in order. I could jump ahead to something if I wanted, but I don't know. They don't dragon ride, so it's kind of like, what's the point? I know I want to get all of them ultimately. Ooh, some of these are... oh, those are expensive because they're from stuff. Okay, so I have all of those already. So once I get through this page, then I'm done with mounts, because I have these dire horns, the Warbringer dire horns. I have the Galleon and Hordon and Elegon and Jikun. We've got Heavenly Onyx and Thundering Onyx and Thundering Cobalt. And yeah, we've got all of these already. So I just need this page. Digital Dave, thank you for the 11-month resub. Bronze pile up that quickly for alt. Yeah, it's not bad. Especially if you're doing, like, you do quests, you do achievements, you get tons of gear, you can scrap it. It goes reasonably fast. I think it still might be faster to farm bronze on a max level character that you've put some time into getting geared, if you want to do, like, raids and endgame content. But if you're happy just kind of questing and doing just a little bit of this and that, it seems like alts is a perfectly fine way to do it. Plus, then you get alts leveled. I suppose I'll go in order. Give me a Fel Iron Juggernaut. Got a Corrupted Gore Helmlock too. Yeah, once I'm done with mounts, then the fun begins, and I get to start working my way through other stuff. So this guy has toys that are like rare drop toys. So I could save for things like the Eternal Kiln toy, Gastropod Shell toy, and Warning Sign toy. They're just so expensive, and they're toys. I'm not really a toy collector. I have some. I have a decent amount, but like, for what? I think I'm okay to leave those alone. I think I would then work on maybe the remix specific transmogs, because I think there's a few of them. Like, and like these class sets, if you do these achievements, there's weapons that you can get and arsenals, and those exist for all classes. So I would probably start with the ones for classes that I played. For example, let's find Priest. Abyssal Cult. So yeah, these are like priest weapons. There's a scepter. There's a librum there. There's a staff that looks like that. Ensemble. This is the rogue ensemble. The ensembles are like shoulder belt, helmet. There's the Abyssal Cult stuff. So yeah, I would want to get... I don't know about all of it. Maybe all of it. Maybe just the stuff for my classes. But I would work through those first, I think, before I start, like, catching up on, like, regular raid sets and whatnot. Because, like, yeah, you can buy transmog sets for all of these things. But those are also appearances that you can just get from, like, farming the raid normally. So if the event ends and I don't have this whole page filled out, that's going to be okay. It'll be fine. A little sad there's only a polearm for hunters. But that's not true. That's absolutely not true. If you look here and you go to the Hunter Arsenal, it's previewing the polearm first, but you can see that it also comes with a bow. There's a two-handed bow that looks like that. And then there's also a gun as well if you're more of a gun person. It comes with all three. You do not need to have a character of that class to buy it. You do need to apparently have done the achievement in question. They want you to do the Isle of Thunder achievement for the Arsenal and then the Landfall achievement for the Ensemble. But you can purchase and learn... You should be able to purchase and learn for any of these things. You don't need to be like a paladin to buy the paladin set, for example. You just need lots and lots and lots and lots of bronze. But those achievements are only usable by the specific class. So yeah, you could buy the weapons in a warrior, but you couldn't use them on... You could buy the weapons for a warrior on anybody, but only warriors could use them. All right, I am finished for today, but I'll be back tomorrow for another stream in the morning. I have a feeling I'm not done with remix yet because there's a lot of stuff I still want. I'm having a lot of fun alt leveling. Thank you very much for joining me today on stream. I have a YouTube channel where I post these stream VODs. If you want to catch up on them after the fact, they are available on YouTube. And then I have a separate YouTube channel where I put like actual like videos on. So those are both available. I will link them in chat. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.